It's time for our annual festive quick tips tutorial, and this year, in just over 3 minutes, we're going to explain how to create fairy lights using RailClone. If you're not already a RailClone user, don't worry, this tutorial works just fine with RailClone Lite, a completely free version with nearly all of the features of the paid plugin. To get it, the download link is in the description. Let's start with a look at the assets. First of all, you'll need some geometry for the lights. In this example, we have a simple plastic base and a glass bulb. The glass is assigned to material ID 2, but if you take a look at the material, there are additional colours on IDs 3, 4, 5 and 6. I'm using a V-Ray light rather than self-illuminated materials, so I'll move it inside the bulb and then group both items together. Remember, since version 5, RailClone supports groups. Give this group a name to make it easy to locate later, and then move the pivot to where you'd like it to connect to the cable. As well as the lights, you'll need a spline for the cable. We've wrapped it around the i2 logo, but it started life as a helix, and really any spline shape will do. Rather than use RailClone to add the cable geometry, an even easier option is to simply make the spline renderable, using the settings in a spline object. You can adjust the thickness and the number of sides as you see fit. Alternatively, you can use a renderable spline modifier. Now let's add the lights to this spline. Go to the Create panel, the i2 section, and select RailClone. Click and drag in the viewport to add a new RailClone object. Go to the Modify panel, and in the Style rollout, click the button to open the Style editor. This is a node-based editor we use to create rules that generate parametric models. To distribute objects along a spline, add a linear 1s generator. And then to tell the generator which spline to use, add a spline node and wire it to the spline input of the generator. Go to the spline node settings and use the object picker to select the spline from the scene. To import the lights, add a segment node, go to the settings and click the object picker. It's important to note that you can't select a group directly from the viewport in the same way as you can geometry. So instead, middle click on the scene to bring the focus back to max, and then press H on your keyboard to open the object picker. Select group and click pick. Go to the Deform tab and uncheck Bend to stop the segment being deformed to follow the spline. We want this light to be placed at regular intervals along the spline. To do that, we wire the segment to the evenly input of the generator. To change the spacing, go to the generator settings, select the Rules tab and locate the evenly distance parameter. Change this setting to adjust the spacing of the lights. To use the pivot we set on the group earlier, go to the segment node and change the Y and Z alignment to pivot. And finally, let's add a little variety. Go to the Transform tab, check the Random Rotation option, and add minimum and maximum values to randomize the rotation. Now if you render, you'll have lights, but they're all the same color, green. Let's look at how we can control that. Remember, the glass is on Material ID 2, but we have additional colors on IDs 3 to 6. We can use a node to switch the IDs directly in RailClone, and to do that you wire a material node between the segment and the generator. Use the Replace Material ID parameter to specify the ID you wish to affect. In this case it's ID 2. If you want to simply swap the colour to another, you can set the from and to values so that they're exactly the same. For example, setting both properties to 3 gives you red lights, 4 is yellow, 5 is blue, and 6 is white. You can also randomize between a range by making the from and to values different. To randomize between the full range of colours we have, set the IDs between 2 and 6. And finally, you can also create a repeating pattern instead of a random distribution just by changing the mode to sequence. And really, that's all there is to it. You can easily edit the existing splines or even assign it to a completely new one, such as the one I have hanging in the trees here, and the lights will instantly update. This was the last tutorial of 2022, so I'd like to take this opportunity on behalf of everyone at i2 to say a sincere thank you for watching and using our plugins, and wish you all a happy holidays. See you in 2023.